Hey, welcome to Planet in the Word. Week 9, you've made it a long way. That's amazing. And this week, we're going to talk about the very last chapter that you're going to read because there's a really great story there. And if I'm honest, a non-believer might read it and think that it backs up their ideology that God's a little crazy. But after I explain it, you'll understand why God only appears to be a little schizophrenic in English. And actually what's going on is a really great story. And once we understand what it was written originally to state, then you're going to have a much clearer picture of what's going on. And so it's a really fun mystery to clear up. First of all, let's talk about what's going on. Israel has left Egypt. They have vacated. They have already held a battle with the Amalekites and won, but at great cost. And now all the kings of the region are up in arms because they know that this country, this entire army is marching through their territory, and they've had some success. And the kings of Midian and the kings of Moab freak out a little bit. So what they decide to do to handle this problem is to hire themselves something like a common spiritual leader in the land. So there's two main characters going on here. First, we have Balak, and he's the king of Moab. And then we have Balaam, and he is sort of the spiritual advisor for hire. And sort of his job description is places curses, prophesies, spiritual leadership. So that's what his job description is. So Balak and the leaders in the region decide to go ahead and hire Balaam to come out and curse the Israelites. So he collects all this money, he collects these messengers, and he sends them to Balaam, and he says, come to me so that you can curse the Israelites and we can deal with this because we all fear for what's going to happen here. And Balaam says to the messengers, okay, you stay here, you sleep tonight, I'm going to talk to God. And actually he says, Yahweh, I'm going to talk to Yahweh, I'll come back and tell you what I can do. And so that's what happens. So Balaam goes, God meets him in a dream and says, hey, who are these men? And he says, well, they've come out to me, they brought me money, they want to pay me to curse these people that are coming out. And God says, oh, no, you're not going to curse these people. You can't do this. So Balaam wakes up in the morning and he says to these messengers, listen, I can't take your money. Go ahead, and you're going to need to go ahead and return back to Balak. Balak's very upset, so he sends better, more valued messengers. In fact, it says that he sends the elders and the leaders of the region. And he says, okay, I need you to reconsider. I need you to come to me and curse these people. So we're going to pick up the story there, and I'm going to go ahead and read it to you. It's going to appear on your screen. And then we're going to have to, quite a bit is going to be spent in screen time today, just so you can see visually what's happening here. So this is the second time they've come, and this is what it says. Numbers 25, 15 to 22. Then Balak sent representatives once again, more numerous and more distinguished than the previous. And they came to Balaam and said to him, this is what Balak the son of Zippor says. I beg you, let nothing keep you from coming to me, for I will indeed honor you richly, and I will do whatever you tell me. Please just come to me and curse these people for me. Verse 18. But Balaam replied to the servants of Balak, even if Balak were to give me his house full of silver and gold, I couldn't do anything small or great, contrary to the command of Yahweh my Elohim, or Yahweh my God. Now, please, you also stay here tonight, and I will find out what else Yahweh says to me. And God came to Balaam that night and said to him, if the men have come to call on you, rise and go with them. But you shall do only the thing that I tell you. Verse 21. So Balaam arose in the morning, saddled his donkey, and went with the leaders of Moab. 22. But God was angry that he was going, and the angel of the Lord, the angel of Yahweh, took a stand in the road as an adversary against him. Okay, what's going on here? God tells him to go ahead and go with them. He gets up, he saddles his donkey, he goes with them, and God is angry with him and is seeking to kill him. And it looks crazy. And if you weren't a believer, you could make a case for what's going on here. He's doing what God told him to do, and now God wants to kill him. And the real problem comes because we're reading in English. There is something that's going on in here, but it's in Hebrew, and it is not clear when we read in English. So let's talk about what's really going on here. In Hebrew, there are two words that are used as with. There is the word et, aleph tav, and there is the word im, ayin mem. And those two words are both translated as the word with. Now, in modern Hebrew, there is very little to distinguish between those two, but in ancient Hebrew, it was a little bit different. In ancient Hebrew, the et word meant with, but it had the connotation of alongside. Something, for example, if I said to you, hey, I got to go to the store, do you want to go with me? It's alongside. But the im word is different. Im has a different connotation. Im means in one accord. Something like maybe an impassioned speaker would ask an audience, hey, are you with me? Are you all in on this? We have that same idea. We can say, do you want to go with me? Or we have this different idea of, are you down with my impassioned speech? Are you down with my ideals? Are you with me? And that's what's going on here. God says, okay, go ahead, Balaam. You can get up and you can go with et alongside them. But Balaam gets up the next morning and he goes with im, of one accord, with them. This is why God is angry and sends the angel to block his path. It doesn't have to do with the fact that he went with him and now he's angry and that makes no sense. What it has to do with the fact is how he went with them. He didn't go alongside. He went with their purpose in mind. He went with the intent to curse them. So this will preach. If you think about the fact, are you with God? Or are you with God? Or are you with the world? Or are you with the world? So this particular story, when it's explained to us what's going on in Hebrew, makes perfect sense and is really cool and exciting. But in the English, it just doesn't come across the same. And I would say one more thing. Before you write off Balaam as a fairy tale that's just in the Bible, as a great story to teach us a lesson, in 1967, a group of Dutch archaeologists uncovered in northern Jordan a wall covered in plaster, written on in black and red ink, that is a prophecy written in Canaanite, not even Hebrew, in Canaanite, prophesying. And 5 times it states in that prophecy, it is the prophecy of Balaam, of Beor. There is archaeological evidence that this man once lived. I hope you find that interesting. I hope now there's some clarity as you read this week, that you're excited to understand exactly what's going on. Have a good week. Thanks for stopping by. Bye-bye.